already? Yeah. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get started very shortly. We do have a few extra seats up in front if anybody wants to come and sit down. Thank you. So good morning and welcome to the 2025 Canada Summer Games bid launch. My name is Derek Bennett and I'm the MHA for the beautiful and scenic district of Lewisporte Twillingate, and I'm responsible for the Secretariat for the Canada Games. Thank you all for coming out to join us in this exciting day and to welcome representatives of the Canada Games Council who are here to help us kick off this exciting process. On the stage with me today is Lynn Bluin, Chair of the 2025 Bid Evaluation Committee and member of the Canada Games Board of Directors. Other special guests who are joining us here today on the stage, the Honourable Dwight Ball, Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador, the Honourable Lisa Dempster, Minister of Children, Seniors and Social Development, Mayor Danny Breen of the City of St. John's, and Nathan Young of Torbay, who competed in the team with Team NL at the 2019 Canada Winter Games in Red Deer, Alberta. Also in the audience from the Canada Games Council, and if you're seating, please stand up. If you're not, please wave. I think is Kellyanne Paul, Senior Vice President of Business Development. Kellyanne's to the right here. Aaron Matheny, Vice President of Marketing and Partnership. Jacob McInnes, Advisor of Sport and Games. Up top there. I see you, Jake. Emily Perot, Advisor of Business Delivery. So please join me in giving the representatives of the Canada Games Council a warm Newfoundland and Labrador welcome. I was appointed lead to the Canada Games Secretariat in early October, and it has been an amazing experience. I would like to personally thank Kellyanne and her team for their cooperation and leadership to date, and we look forward to working with each of you throughout the remainder of the Canada Games life cycle. I would certainly be remiss if I also didn't recognize Mr. Rod Snow, who has been instrumental in providing us with advice, guidance, and expertise. Rod has extensive experience with the Canada Games and other large-scale sporting events. Thank you, Rod, for your contributions. By the look of the crowd that has turned out for this announcement, we're going to have lots of support as we prepare for the 2025 Canada Summer Games. Also joining us here today are a number of athletes, coaches, and other members of local sporting community who have a particular interest in today's announcement. And it's great to see so many young people here today, especially with the challenge that we had with this recent storm and the closure of schools. So thank you for coming out today. Whether you're a member of the sports team within your school, a member of the upcoming Canada Games team, or inspire to be the next superstar, welcome to all of you, and thank you for coming out to show your support here today. I would like for everybody to please join me and remove your hats and stand as we do the singing of O Canada. Thank you. I was starting to get a little bit nervous, to be honest here. I thought they were going to expect me to sing. And I would have asked security to go for the doors, because I'm sure everybody would have started running. But thank you for backing me up there on that one. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce the Premier of Newfoundland and Labrador, the Honourable Dwight Ball, to deliver some opening remarks. Premier Ball.
Well, thank you, Derek. And I got to say that Derek has done a great job since we brought him in to actually help manage our way through the early days. And thank you, Derek, for the job that you've done. And good morning, everyone. And I can tell you, you could tell by the enthusiasm and the energy, everyone is anticipating something good here this morning, really. And it's excitement around this announcement. And I want to thank all the people that have helped getting us where we are today. And to share it with so many great athletes and coaches, teachers, students, and the supporting community makes it all that much more important. And to see the support from neighboring communities that are here. I see many mayors and lots of MHAs, sprinkled through the group here this morning, so thank you for coming out. Having you here really highlights what the true meaning of the Canada Games is all about. It's really about competition, it's about fair play, it's about the opportunity for athletes to really follow their dreams. And I think all of us that's been paying attention and have enjoyed sports really dream about being a competitive athlete. But the Canada Games is much more than that. It's about bringing Canadians together to celebrate sport and the diversity of our country. And today, we are launching the bid to host some of the greatest and best Canadian amateur athletes to the 2025 Canada Summer Games. And it is no secret that Newfoundlanders and Labradorians were a crowd that's just fiercely proud of making and welcoming people to Newfoundland and Labrador. And it should also come as no surprise that when there's an opportunity for this province to have a giant party, well, we're really eager to roll out that red carpet. So look out 2025. And that's exactly what we plan to do for the Canada Summer Games. Now, people often put it in context. How big would the Canada Summer Games be? Well, compare it to what a Grey Cup would be, compare it to the World Junior Hockey Championships. That's the magnitude and the context of what these games are all about. It's about 20,000 people who will travel to the province, some 4,600 athletes, coaches, and managers, and thousands of spectators, visitors, media from all across the country, officials or mission staff, and so many other people will be excited to travel to our province. From an economic point of view, there's some 550 new jobs bringing tourists to our wonderful province. About $80 to $110 million in economic spending, so it's a stimulus for the province as well. This includes people coming to stay in our hotels, eating in restaurants, shopping, just enjoying the local tourist destination, and so many which we have in our province. And we all know that when people travel to the province, well, they extend those stays because we have a lot for people to come and visit and enjoy in our province. But it's even much more than that, because there's a legacy of infrastructure that will be built that in the future we can build and invite and host other national and international competitions. And the city and this region is well prepared to be able to do that with the improvements in infrastructure. So hosting a national event like the Canada Games is also about creating memories for the athletes and the spectator experience. And I want to just mention Carol English here today. When you think about an individual from this province who has left a mark in many parts of the world, and I want to welcome you, Carol. I don't know if you're following my lead or I and yours with this retirement stuff. I don't know what's up with this, but listen, man, it looks better on me than it do on you. You're much younger. But I want to say congratulations to you and the contribution that you've made to our province. And looking on the stage with me, not to steal some of the thunder, but I told Nathan upstairs that we can say all we want, but there's one person that they want to hear from, and this young athlete right over here, Nathan Young, and what a champion he is, and what an ambassador he is for our province as well. So this Canada Games, once again, ladies and gentlemen, will give us another marvelous opportunity to actually showcase what our province is all about our arts and our community, so many great things in the people that we have in our province that makes us indeed unique. And we have a proven track record of hosting major sporting events. And the city itself is preparing. And as I look up here, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, 1977, this is the banner from the 77 games. Now, I remember, I did have a driver's license, and I remember driving in for that event. I wasn't so sure it was all about the sport, it was more about the experience, as I just said earlier. But I have a lot of great memories of the 77 games, and a lot of great memories in participating in a very different way in the 99 games in Cornwall. I remember hosting the bid committee back in 1999, and what a great event that turned out to be. So, ladies and gentlemen, this province is ready, this city is ready, and I know the volunteers and the people around St. John's were ready, so we want to welcome the bid committee here with us today as we officially launch this bid. So, Lynn, to you and Kellyanne and the Canada Games Council, we want to thank you for the tremendous support that you have provided. And we look forward to working with the city. I know the Mayor Breen is with us here today. We have mayors of our region and neighboring communities. Ladies and gentlemen, let's show the Canada Games that we can do this one more time. Thank you.
Thank you, Premier. We're going to move into our next speaker, Minister Dempster, the Minister of Children, Seniors and Social Development.
Thank you, Derek. Good morning, everyone. Let's get some energy in this room on this gorgeous day. Is everybody excited that the Canada Games is... Thank you, Premier Ball, and welcome, everyone. It is a very exciting time. Since 2017, the Premier invited me into Cabinet, and one of my portfolios is the Provincial Minister responsible for Sport and Rec. We started with Team NL, the Provincial Games in Deer Lake in his riding in March 18. And then we moved on, and I had the tremendous privilege to join Nathan. You're going to be my claim to fame, and walk in with the flag in Red Deer last year in February. And then we had the Labrador Winter Games, which is up in my neck of the woods and happens every 3 years right after that. So it's been an exciting, exciting journey. It's given me the opportunity to see up close and personal the tremendous positive impact that sport has on individual lives. And, you know, we talk about athletes, and I'm going to mention them in my notes. We talk about the games, but for me, it's been about the stories behind the athletes. It's how they got there. It's up in Red Deer, you know, having young ladies saying, for as long as I can remember, we went door to door, we sold chocolates, my mom came with me, they believed in me, and now I'm here. That's what the games are about, ladies and gentlemen. I often say on this road of life, it's about the places you've been, the people you met, and the memories that you made along the way. And I'll tell you one thing, there's nothing like sport that creates some wonderful, exciting memories, that ignites dreams and a passion. And so I hope Newfoundland and Labrador is training hard as well, because we all know that medals, you win them in practice. You only pick them up at competition, right, Nathan? So there's nothing that excites me like talking about the games and the fact that they're coming. And in 2025, the national stage is going to be here, right here in Newfoundland and Labrador. We're going to showcase our culture, our art, our beautiful history, but what's going to be really on display in addition to our athletes is our people, which is our most prized position here in Newfoundland and Labrador. Many Canada Games athletes go on to represent our country at Olympic and international competitions, in addition to playing at the professional level. Just this past weekend, the Premier and I were up in my district, and we met a young lady, tiny little community, couple hundred people, got scouted in BC a few months ago, and she's now going to be joining Team Canada and playing in Slovakia in July. If that wouldn't inspire the younger boys and girls here today. You know, the Premier mentioned Carl English, and he's inspired us all. I was pleased to take my daughter down and meet his daughter and watch him in a game. The Liam Hickeys, who went on the world stage, and, you know, I remember the stories from his dad a lot of times you were competing against yourself, showing up at a cold arena 5 o'clock in the morning, and you're competing with yourself. That takes a lot of discipline, ladies and gentlemen, but that's just a tiny examples of the stories coming out of Newfoundland and Labrador. Familiar names like Caitlin Osmond, and we could go on. And then there's Nathan, that, as the Premier said, who's really what everybody is here today to hear from Nathan. And we're so happy to have him join us on the stage. And Nathan, the whole province is very proud of you right now. For our young athletes in this province, the road to the Canada Games is quite a journey. It travels through school gymnasiums, recreation programs, local sport organizations, and yes, events like our very own Newfoundland and Labrador Labrador Games. This summer being held for the first time in Bay Roberts, and I was very pleased just a couple of weeks ago to be in Bay Roberts again, and we announced some money to support them as they get ready. Because one of the other lovely things that happens about the Games is infrastructure gets put in those communities. So athletes coming behind are able to continue to train and have better facilities. There's a pretty excited, energetic bunch in Bay Roberts. They're working together with the entire region. There's going to be an economic boost that comes with that, and we're all pretty excited about it because, you know, it's about creating those memories. It's about the athlete and the spectator experience. And we know that we will show Canada our world-class hospitality. You can put us up against anywhere in the world, I believe. The Games promote ongoing sport development through investment in infrastructure and by engaging hundreds of community members as volunteers. One of the things St. John's has going in its favor is the strong volunteer base, the people that step up. We just saw that with Snowmageddon that shut the city down, the Avalon, virtually for 8 days. So we're going to need about 4,000 to 6,000 volunteers to put these games up, but we're quite certain and confident that people will line up to volunteer. This will leave a lasting legacy for present and future athletes. It will build capacity within sports community to host future large sports-scale events. In addition, relationships, and perhaps the most important of all, relationships between neighboring communities within the region will be enriched through the collaborative efforts. We're going to make those games, ladies and gentlemen, a roaring success, are we not? I want to say thank you to the Canada Games Council. I've had a chance to work with them a little bit myself, and to everyone who has come here today, thank you for taking the time on this beautiful day to come out to celebrate this important first step toward hosting the Canada Summer Games. I'm going to call up on Mayor Breen now. Before I do, I want to say thank you, Mayor, for the sunshine today. I was at an event with him a few months ago, and he actually took credit for the beautiful day, and someone said, Mayor, you can't take credit for the beautiful day. He said, why not? I get blamed for a lot of things I'm not responsible for. So he said, I take credit for the sunshine. So thank you for the sunshine, and ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mayor Breen.
Just like to point out that after the snowstorm in January, I don't take credit for any weather anymore. It's a federal government responsibility, I believe. I also got a bit nervous when I went upstairs and they gave me a baseball uniform to put on. I said, geez, here I go. 2 more hours sitting on the bench. I would like to acknowledge Premier Ball, Minister Dempster, MHA Derek Barrett, Canada Games Council staff, Lynn Bluen, and of course Nathan Young, who I'm warming up for. And members of St. John City Council. I see Councillor Corab and Councillor Hickman here. And also my colleagues, the mayors from the Northeast Avalon, Mayor Dan Bobbitt and Mayor Dave Aker from Mount Pearl, and Mayor Craig Scott from Torbay. And I know that this Games will be a success because of the great cooperation that we have regionally with all of our councils and staff, and being able to use all the facilities that we're going to be able to use. On behalf of City Council and staff, we're very excited for the opportunity to enter our bid to host the 2025 Canada Summer Games. I would now like to welcome Kim Keating and Carl Smith to our team, as they will be the co-chairs for the Canada Summer Games Bid Committee. Kim Keating is the Chief Operating Officer at the Cal Group, and Carl Smith, retired CFO of Fortis. They bring a strong background in both business and what's even more important is their passion for the city and for this province, and that combination is going to be dynamite as we put together this winning bid for the Canada Summer Games. Also, I'd like to acknowledge Carol English. Carol has also joined the bid committee and is going to be a huge part. By the look he just gave me, I think I just named him to the big committee. It's all right, Carol. I was only buttering you up on Sunday at the game for it. We're very grateful for the opportunity to work with both Kim and Carol, who bring strong leadership and a passion for our city and our province to our team. Our overwhelming success in hosting major national and international events, such as the 2017 Tim Hortons Brier, demonstrates the dedication, civic pride, and community spirit of our residents and our volunteers. And if you look at the Brier and the success that was, this is like having 10 Briers in 2 weeks. This is a huge event and one that we're ready for and ready to take on. In many ways, our success in hosting major events began with an extremely successful 1977 Canada Summer Games, which we now know that the Premier had his driver's license during. I wasn't old enough to have my license then, by the way, Premier, but yeah. Those games not only showcased our city as a great host, it provided much-needed sports infrastructure. And much of that sports infrastructure that was built in 1977, the City of St. John's has spent a lot of money on improving and redeveloping over the years, and much of that will be used for the 2025 Canada Summer Games. So the mark of the 1977 Games and the legacy it left continues to live on in our city. Events such as this provides the opportunity to showcase our unique culture, our city, and our world-class hospitality to thousands of athletes, coaches, volunteers, and mission staff from across Canada. Our city and proximity of sports infrastructure in the region will allow for athletes and visitors to partake in multiple sports daily. As we enter into the bid phase and work to prepare a document that will be evaluated by the Canada Games Council and a bid evaluation committee, this city is ready for the challenge. The thrill of competition and camaraderie with Canada's best young athletes will create an excitement and spirit like no other. The Canada Games will leave a mark on our community and our country, transforming, inspiring, and unifying through the power of sport. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We're excited, we're ready, and we've got the team and resources to make this the best Canada Games ever. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you again, Mayor Ball. Sorry. Maybe I'm just foreshadowing. Maybe that's the next job. I'm not sure. We'll back that up a little bit, please. Thank you again, Premier Ball, Minister Debster, for your inspirational and passionate words. I've known both of these people for the last 4.5 years, and I've seen their commitment and their personal desire to ensure that all of our youth reach their full potential. They are both strong advocates of promoting physical activity, healthy living, and sport development. I thank you for all your work in the past. Mayor Breen, thank you for your kind remarks. I'm quite sure the City of St. John's is definitely up for the challenge of hosting the 2025 Canada Summer Games. And as a government, we are certainly looking forward to working with you, your staff, and your bid committee as you prepare for the next phase of the Games. Now I would like to introduce Lynn Bluen, who is the chair of the Bid Evaluation Committee and a board member with the Canada Games Council. Lynn is going to tell us a little bit more about what's involved in the bid process. Ladies and gentlemen, Lynn Bluen.
Premier Ball, Minister Dempster, Mayor Breen, and Nathan, and I'll try to cut on my speech because I know I'm the last one to go before you. community representatives, athletes, and friends of the Games. Good morning to you all, and thank you for being here today. C'est un immense plaisir pour moi d'être en votre compagnie ce matin. Pour combien de personnes je parle en français ici? All right, so a few of you are going to understand my French in between lines. On behalf of the Canada Games Council, I would like to say that we are very excited to launch the 2025 Canada Summer Games bid process with you, Newfoundland and Labrador. En 2025, la province de Terre-Neuve et Labrador aura le privilège d'être l'hôte des Jeux du Canada, et ce, pour une troisième fois, démontrant du coup sa passion pour le sport et la jeunesse canadienne. The Canada Games are where greatness begins for thousands of up-and-coming Canadian amateur athletes. Since 1967, the Canada Games and their lasting legacies have been the catalyst for the growth of sport and recreation across our country. As the best in their age group, our young competitors come to the Games having trained long and hard to be among those chosen to represent their respective province or territory. Ce que ces jeunes ne savent peut-être pas, c'est que les Jeux du Canada leur ouvriront aussi la porte à une expérience de vie extraordinaire grâce à l'effort collectif de l'ensemble de ses partenaires. We look forward to hearing from one of our alumni, Nathan, on what the Games have represented for him. But the Canada Games have always also been an event that transcends sport. In addition to their impact on the sport system and our developing champions in sport, the Games help develop young leaders who will embrace their future, our future, with strength, openness to others, and pride. Last November 30th, the City of St. John submitted its intention to bid for the 2025 Canada Games. Today, as our team will share with the city representatives the detail required to do so, St. John's will embark on an 11-month process to build its proposal. Mais cette étape cruciale ne se fera pas seule. L'ensemble de la communauté devra mettre l'épaule à la roue afin de faire la démonstration de sa capacité, mais aussi, I lost you there, didn't I? de sa profonde volonté d'accueillir les Jeux d'été de 2025. The bid committee will be calling on support of partnerships from the city, surrounding communities, institutions, local and provincial governments, private and non-profit sectors to vision together the success of these games. As a board member with the Canada Games Council, I can tell you firsthand that the experience will change you for the better. But I can also tell you, as a past deputy CEO for 2013 Games in Sherbrooke, that hosting the Canada Games is an enormous, oh, but so exciting undertaking. Not only have our games created legacies and memories that will forever impact our community in Sherbrooke, I can tell you that 7 years later, the games are still very much alive. In the months to come, as a bid committee, our task will be to ask you the following strategic questions. Can the City of St. John's, in cooperation with its surrounding communities, meet the Canada Games hosting standards? Can this bid have the vision to make these unforgettable games? Will you ensure hosting the 2025 Canada Games helps your province, your city, your communities to grow, and continues the work of past host societies across the country to build the Canada Games brand? The Canada Games Council's role is to ensure that the hosting standards and the integrity of the Games are upheld in all areas of the bid proposal. I would like to give you a sense of this evaluation process to come over the next year. This will only take about 20-25 minutes. I'm joking. The bid proposal and review of the proposal will be conducted in 2 phases. Phase 1 will review the technical capacity to host the Games. This will include a detailed review of sport venues, non-sport venues, and the Games Village. The bid committee will need to focus this spring on this technical phase with all material due by May 29th. Phase 1 will then be evaluated in June. Assuming success in the technical review, The City of St. John's will then be asked to advance to Phase 2, Phase 2 being a comprehensive phase where all aspects of the games, including vision, community relations, marketing, and a budget, are developed by the bid committee. Phase 2 materials will be due to the Canada Games Council on December 1st for decision. Puisque votre province a déjà été hôte des Jeux à 2 reprises, soit ici même à St. John's en 1977, puis à Corner Brook en 1999, with flying colors, we are confident Newfoundland and Labrador will again rise to the challenge. A final decision regarding the bid proposal from the City of St. John's, including any conditions that may be attached to the award of the games, will be made and publicly announced by February 2021. So you have a year to be patient still. I hope, I can see that you are as excited as we are about what today means, because we just can't wait, the team from the Canada Games, to engage on this journey with you guys. Merci beaucoup de votre accueil. L'aventure ne fait que commencer pour vous. Enjoy the next month. As of today, the ball is in your court. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Lynn. It is certainly exciting now that the bid process has begun here in Newfoundland and Labrador, has officially commenced, and we look forward to working with you and the Canada Games Council over the coming weeks and months. So I guess our next speaker. So everybody said they'd come here to see Nathan. I thought it was me, I'll be honest with you. Just because he's better looking, taller, athletic, I don't know, Nathan. But I'm sure you outbid me there. Now it's my pleasure to introduce a young man who has experienced a thrilling success on the international sports scene. Nathan Young of Torbay was a member of Team NL at the 2019 Canada Winter Games that took place in Red Deer, Alberta. Just last month, Nathan represented Team Canada in curling at the World Youth Olympics in Switzerland. While there, Nathan had the opportunity to be paired with Laura Nagy of Hungary to compete in mixed doubles curling. And as many of you are already aware, Nathan and Laura won the gold. Congratulations. Being a great ambassador for our province and an accomplished athletic on the national and international scene, we asked Nathan to be here today to share his perspective on being a member, first of all, Team NL, and to tell us why the Canada Games are such an important part of his experience as an athlete. Ladies and gentlemen, Nathan Young.
So no pressure, apparently. That's what I've been hearing all morning, but we'll see. The Canada Games will always be special to me, not only because I got to go with my sister Jane, but also because of the amazing memories that will last with me forever. It was also how, as Derek said, I got selected to play with Team Canada at the Youth Olympic Games last month in Switzerland. The Canada Games journey was instrumental, not only for my athletic development, but also for my development as a person. And it is an honor for me to be able to speak to the Games experience today. The Canada Games is the gateway to excellence in sport for young Canadian athletes. Maybe you've already made the Canada Games team, or maybe you're still fighting for your spot. Either way, you've set goals for yourself that will make you a better athlete. You've already won. For our team, this meant practicing harder and with more focus, working with a sports psychologist, more intense physical training, and traveling more often to ensure we were as ready as possible to compete on the national stage. All of these elements create the foundation for athletic excellence and prepares the athlete to compete at the next level of competition. For many athletes like myself, Canada Games is our first time competing on a big stage, living in the athlete's village, adjusting to time changes, adjusting to food, rooming with other athletes from different sports, and making their schedules work with ours were valuable things that I took away from the Canada Games. Being familiar and prepared to handle all of these things however small they may seem, can make all the difference when you're at a big event trying to deal with pressure, excitement, and nerves. It is rare to get an opportunity to experience these emotions at our age, but the Canada Games provides us with such an opportunity. Canada Games isn't only about growing as an athlete, it's also about growing as a person. I'll always remember the pride I felt putting on the provincial jacket and getting on the plane as part of Team NL. While at the Games, athletes live away from their families, but become part of a new family as they go venue to venue supporting their fellow provincial teammates. On the Canada Games journey, athletes learn to understand commitment, determination, and how to learn from failures in order to give them the best chance at success in the future. Equally important in life as in sport. The Canada Games unites like-minded athletes from around the country, and this provides a social environment ideal for making long-lasting relationships. Not only do you come away from Canada Games with friends forever connected by the experience, but I know for me, my competitors from Canada Games continue to motivate me to be better each day. The Canada Games experience is one that will change the life of every athlete who earns the right to compete for their province. It also opens doors to new opportunities, as it did for me and the Youth Olympic Games. It is so exciting to have the Canada Games coming back to Newfoundland and Labrador in 2025. Go Team NL. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much, Nathan, for your words. They're certainly inspiring to our young athletes, especially those here today, and all the athletes across our great country. Your words will also inspire us as we prepare for the 2025 Canada Games bid launch. Now I would like to direct your attention to the screens on my right that the Canada Games Council would like to share a new video that they are launching here today that speaks to the core of what the Canada Games means to our athletes and to our country.
You know I'm back, like I never left. Another sprint, another step, another day, another breath.
Well, what a great way to capture the energy and the excitement of the 2017 Summer Games in Winnipeg and the 2019 Winter Games in Red Deer, and to start building on our excitement and our energy as we take this important first step towards launching the bid process to the hosting of the 2025 Canada Summer Games right here in Newfoundland and Labrador. We're now going to do a short presentation to our guest speakers here today, and then we'll have a few more, it'll be another short part to our ceremony, so we ask people to stick around for a little bit longer, please. First of all, Premier Ball. Minister Dempster. Mayor Breen. Lynn Bluin. And last but not least, Nathan Young. We're going to ask that we get a group photo there now before we move forward. So we ask all of our speakers to please stand in front of the stage. Pull up your socks, yeah. Well, thank you again, speakers. Greatly appreciate it. Next part of our agenda is that we're going to do the singing of the Ode to Newfoundland. Please stand. The pine glad is and summer spreads around. So before we conclude, during the 2019 Canada Games, Team NL published a newsletter to keep their fans up to date on what was happening at the Games. The newspaper was called Rant and Roar. So like true Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, I want to hear you rant and roar as we answer these questions. So I want to hear lots of noise. Are you excited to host the 2025 Canada Summer Games here in Newfoundland and Labrador? And are we going to give the athletes, coaches, and visitors who visit Newfoundland and Labrador an experience that they will never forget? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out today. Especially to all the youth that took the time for the school. It's great to see so many jerseys here and Team NL and sports teams from the various schools. We thank you from the bottom of our heart for coming here, and we're looking forward to the next phase of the 2025 Canada Games. We do have some refreshments behind the screen for those who would like to stick around for a few minutes to socialize. And in closing, again, we're going to do, if the media would like to do some interviews, we're going to do it up here in the front. So again, thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day. We got a mic. Okay. Excuse me. We'd just like to remind everyone again, there is food on the back of the screen that you're welcome to help yourself after.